Ka'alao Yah Ba'ashem Yahawashi Bahashem Rakakadash. All praise, honor, and glory goes to the Most High Yahweh. In the name of the Son, Yahawashi. Lifting up the holy name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi above all things. And I'm coming with you with this quick lesson. Wanted to start off in Jeremiah 24:6. It says, "For I will set mine eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land. And I will build them and not pull them down. And I will plant them and not pluck up. And I will give them an heart to know me, that I am Yahweh, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart." And, sometimes we have to remind ourselves, those are the hopeful elect, on why the other nations, why people close to us, or people around us, hate us. Sometimes I could think it's because of my skin. Sometimes I could think it's because of my baldness that I'm growing. Sometimes I could think because I'm skinny. Sometimes I could think because it's my mouth, the way I talk, what I say. But for the most part, everything is all spiritual. There's demons out here. There's demons every corner that you could turn to. And, they're against the people of Yasharallah. We know these things through the scriptures. But sometimes it's a quick reminder for myself and for the hopeful elect. For those that can understand that, what the hopeful elect really means, meaning that, you're doing the work of the Father to the best of your ability. You're keeping the law. You're trying your best to stay out of, sins. You're making sure you're showing love to the brethren and the household of believers. And, you're going to face trials and tribulations and suffering. You're going to be just like anybody else. You're going to, be facing losing jobs. You're going to be facing losing homes, cars. You're going to, be a lack of money, lack of food. Sometimes you're going to have all these different things that everybody else experiences. You're going to have a problem with past addictions you may have had. You're going to be tempted in a way that you're, it seems, sometimes like it's unfair. Yet all these things are part of being, the chosen. But here's the good part. It talks about in Jeremiah 24:7. It says, "I will give them a heart to know me, that I am Yahweh, and they shall be my people, and I will be their eternal power, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart." Our heart is continually being renewed and turned over to the Lord. And that's the great part. And that's why people hate, what it really is, their spirits really want to be Israelites. You see a lot of scriptures coming out, speaking about Esther 8:17, a lot of in our community, in the Israelite community, they're trying to use that to show that all nations can be saved and the Israelites have been replaced. But, they don't realize that there was a decree there. It was a decree to put to death any nation that was against Israel. Decree from the king himself. And of course you would want to be an Israelite in that time. Of course you would want to, be not have to experience death. And that's what's going on now as we move closer and closer to the end. People just really want to be Israelites. That's what it really is. And if they can't, they're going to hate. When they realize they can't be, they're going to hate on the Israelites. If you go over to the book of Romans 8, in the book of Romans 8, it says, "There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahawashi." It says, "Who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit." So when you see someone working in the spirit, you see someone doing something ordinary from your fleshy ways, not always looking to down someone else, not always looking at someone that like you're better than them, but you just living your life, but you have the spirit on you to do the work of the Father. Others are going to try to condemn you, but there's no condemnation to those that are doing the work through the Spirit. And that's what people are that's what they hate. They really want to be us, but they can't be us. It goes on and says, "For the law of the Spirit of life in Yahawashi Mashiach have made me free from the law of sin and death." Other nations don't matter. These Edomites around here, the wicked of our people, these heathen nations, they don't matter. They know it. Their spirit resonates with it. The more and more they hear these scriptures come out, the more they start to understand it more and more and more that they're going to get destruction. And their spirit can't take it. So they're going to persecute any Israelite they can get their hands on. Pretty soon they're going to put hands on us. That's what's going to happen. Look at Stephen. Stephen was just being a lively man, full of the Spirit, and they couldn't stand the words he was saying. It wasn't about what he was doing. It wasn't about his physical presence. It said he was looks like he was a small guy, but those words were powerful. They was cutting them to the core, to where they had to stone them the whole town. Man, if you go over to the book of Isaiah 49, because this is how the Father feels about the Israelites, and people hate it. Isaiah 49:15, it says, can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet I will not forget thee. And that's what's going on. A lot of women don't have no love for their children right now. They say they do, but without discipline, you ain't showing no love to your child. But the Father was using that as a reference to show how much he really loves Israel. It goes on to say in verse 16, behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Thy walls are continually before me. It says that he's graven us on the palms of his hands. The people of Yasharallah, Israel. That's how much he loves his people. And he's talking about his remnant there. The true Israelites, not the wicked of our people, because the wicked of our people, those were the same ones that went to go party and dance and do all the things they were doing when Moses was up there getting the commandments. Those are the ones that have to be destroyed to get purified by the fire. But as the other nations and the wicked Esau, I mean, he don't care about them. That's why he's making a reference so many times in the scriptures how much he loves Israel, even though they went off. Go over to the book of John, chapter 16. I'll start in verse 8. It says, and when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin. And it's talking about Yahawashi Mashiach. When he returns this time, this is what he's going to do. He says, reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. So he's going to come for different types of groups of people. It says, of sin, because they believe not on me. So who's he talking about there? Those Israelites that continue just to live their life the way they live it, continue to follow these heathen nations, continue to do the things that are against these scriptures, knowing that who they are, and they continue to be wicked. And it says, of righteousness, because I go to my Father and see me no more. The righteous ones are the ones that are going to be coming with him, coming back to the Father, coming to the kingdom of heaven, coming back down to the kingdom of heaven once he they return up to in the chariots and have that supper and that party that they're going to have with Yahawashi, in what you call those UFOs. It says, and of judgment, because the prince of the world is judged, and that's everybody else. That's pertaining to Esau, Edom, but it's also talking to all the heathen nations. They're going to join with them to try to fight against Yahawashi Mashiach. So who wouldn't hate the Israelites when they know they're going to get judgment? If you go on to the book of Exodus 22, it says in verse 29, thou shalt not delay to offer the first of my fruits in thy hold on one second, Slakia. Exodus 28 and 29, I do apologize. This is Exodus 28, verse 29. It says, and Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Yasharallah in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he goes into the holy place for a memorial before the Yahweh continually. So that proves right there that the covenant is only for the Israelites, because they're going to be the only ones that are going to be really judged. Everyone else is just going to be an extra cast. The main two characters in this whole movie is Jacob and Esau. So the Israelites are going to have to get judged. The ones that are wicked, the ones that are righteous are going to be delivered, his remnant. And then Esau, Edom, the rest of the people that are down here, whether if they survive because they're hiding in bunkers, they're hiding in the water, up in high mountains, they try to go to space. Whoever's left over, they're going to go into slavery. So the judgment is only written really for the Israelites. Everybody else is just going to be a casualty of war. It goes on. That's the point right there. Let's go over to the book of. Let's actually go over to Ephesians 2 and 10 real quick. The book of Ephesians chapter 2. We'll start in verse Let's start in verse 8. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Yahawashi Mashiach." That's talking to his elect. "Unto good works which Yahweh hath before ordained that we should walk in them." And that's the whole point. That covenant was only given to the Israelites, and only the ones that are ordained since the beginning of time are going to receive the good portion of that covenant, because they were chosen since the beginning of time to do the workmanship of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. The ones that are the hopeful elect were basically given over to Yahweh Shah so that he can continue to grow and teach them about the kingdom of heaven through the Spirit, through the works that they do, through the teachings of the scriptures, and they're gonna bring this out to the people and to the world, so they can see these things, so that when it actually happens, everyone's know they're not gonna have any excuse. So who wouldn't hate someone who has that type of knowledge on them? Who wouldn't make jokes about people like that? And it's gonna prove it. Because this is what Heavenly Father really feels. Let's go over to 2 Ezra 6. It says in verse 55, it says, "All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, because thou madest the world for our sakes." And he's talking about the Israelites. The whole book is written about the Israelites. You can make it about the whole world if you want to, because you want to do some kind of false teaching. You can make it about everyone just because you went to a church. But the book is only written to the Israelites. It says, "As for the other people," so it's talking about the other nations, "which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened that abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel." So you see, there's no escaping judgment. There's no escaping who you really are. So everyone that's doing their part is doing their part because they're ordained to. Whether you were called to be part of his hopeful elect, the remnant, or you called to be the wicked of our people, you called to be a heathen. If you called to scorn and mock the prophets or those of the men of the Lord, that's what you're called to do. And we don't look behind it. We don't hate on people that do that. We know these things are going to happen. We expect them. We're looking out for it. We encourage it. If you look over to the book of Matthew 5 in verse 10, it says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So because you're righteous, because you bring out the word, because you love the Lord, you're going to be persecuted. Yes, that's what's going to happen. So when you sign up for this, when you know who you are and you're doing the work of the Father, expect the persecution. It's going to come in all different forms. People are going to teach their children to do it. It says in the scriptures, they was shaking their head at Yahweh Shah Mashiach while he was on the cross. Men, women, and children. They're going to teach their children to hate you. If you go over to the book, and this is my last scripture. This is 2 Corinthians 12. This is the kind of mindset you want to get. Talks about the thorn. I really want to go into that because that's a whole different lesson. But in 2 Corinthians 12 and 10, it says, "Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Hamashiach's sake." So we take these things in stride. If you're not learning how to take these things in stride and still praise the Heavenly Father, if it's not giving you an extra boast of energy that you hear somebody talking mess about you, that you hearing that you're called a bum, that you hear that you're called the lowest of the low, that they're calling you a bald head, that they're calling you a nigga, that they're calling you all these different things that they're trying to demean you with. If it's not building up an extra point of energy, then it may not be for you. Because it says right here, we take pleasure in those things. It says, "In distresses for Hamashiach's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong." It says, "I am become a fool in glory." So we're going to look like you were a fool at it. Like who would take that stuff? But most of us don't come from behind closed doors. People are not going to say a lot of these things in your face until it's time. There's a lot of cowards and there's a lot of people that are against, what's in the scriptures, but they know it's a power to it. So they do it mostly going to do behind closed doors. But it's going to come a time where they're going to put it in your face. It says, I have become a fool in glorying. You have compelled me, for I ought to have been commended of you. For in nothing am I behind the very chiefest apostles, though I be nothing. So we got to know that the apostles before us have went through this. That's why I love the men of Great Millstone, the apostles of Great Millstone, because they went through it all. If you listen to a lot of their stories and their testimonies that they give, not only do the scriptures they give, because the scriptures, that they provide and the teaching they provide is awesome, but listen to some of their testimonies. They're going to let you know they went through it all for our sake. How could you not love a leader or leaders in that went through the dirt and the mire and still standing firm and still teaching the word? So get prepared for all the different things you're going to face in this truth. You're going to face persecution. You're going to face hate. You're going to face all the different things that you're going to face. But remember, this is a remembrance for the hopeful elect that, who wouldn't hate Israel? They're called to do it. They're designed to do it. It's always been that way. But you have faith in Yahawashi Mashiach. So just stay firm. Continue to preach the word. Continue to deny and resist all things, because that Michael C. Hip is coming soon. And we don't want to face that thermonuclear fire that the whole world is going to, that the United States is going to face, along with that land of Israel and every other place that Yahawashi feels deemed that's going to get hit. We don't want to face those lasers that he's going to shoot. These are all the things that are going to happen. It's prophesied in the scriptures. So just be able to, have tough skin throughout all this and beg for mercy and deliverance from your Savior and your power, Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. So with that, just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to all the apostles, elders, teachers, preachers, priests that came before me, that taught us this truth, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who were taught by their apostles and elders. And Shalom, peace be to you, to his hopeful elect. Till next time, Yahweh willing.